Alright everyone, it's time to talk about the Texas Supreme Court and its decision regarding gay marriage benefits. Because it appears that what's happened now is red states, or I should say religious states with religiously staffed courts, have decided, well, yeah, we lost on gay marriage, but we can still stand in the way of gay couples getting benefits. Surely this will work. It's not going to work. The Texas Supreme Court is in the wrong. It knows it's in the wrong, and it's doing this out of spite. No sane individual looking at the Supreme Court decision on gay marriage proper would think that this would hold up to scrutiny by the Supreme Court. I predict that there will be a 9-0 decision with the conservative justices joining the so-called liberal justices in favor of gay couples having full benefits in the state of Texas. And here's why. The Supreme Court, when it argued that gay marriage should be nationally legal, construed the 13th Amendment and the concept of equal protection as specifically protecting marriage for homosexuals. Marriage in the sense, and this is what so many people tried to debate me on this point, and they just didn't fucking get it. Marriage as defined by the state is a contract. It is secular, it is government administered. It has nothing to do with any religion. It has nothing to do with your religious beliefs. It has nothing to do with your religious ceremonies, and the decision doesn't extend to your religious bodies. If a church doesn't want to conduct gay marriages, it doesn't have to. If a synagogue doesn't want gay marriage, they don't have to perform gay marriages. They don't even have to allow a homosexual couple to walk in the door if they don't want to. They could also go out, they could also say, well, we don't support those interracial marriages, so this couple, this young black female with a white dude, no, we're not going to marry you here. We don't. You go over to the damn Marxist church over there because we don't agree with such things. You can do that if you want, saving face, most of them don't, even if they have such views. But gay marriages it's already been settled by the Supreme Court. It's the law of the land now. You don't have to like it for moral purposes. You're in a congregation, and you say, well, we think homosexuals are bad people. Well, you're not gay. Okay, that's your choice. It's fine. You were born that way. You're straight. And you say, well, we don't want gays around us. Okay, you don't have to associate with people who are openly gay. But the government can't do that. The government is bound by the 13th Amendment. It's not the same thing as a religious edifice. What the state of Texas now is going to have to argue before the U.S. Supreme Court in due time, probably fairly quickly, is that somehow the 13th Amendment protects their right to get a contract, but not the right to get the benefits from that contract. Is there any possible way for that to be argued without even people like Gorsuch laughing in their face? No, they're doing this out of spite. Or maybe because their constituents think that it'll be some great joke or something like that. I don't know. Have they conducted any polling recently in Texas? I bet you'd find that the formerly large majority of people that didn't like gay marriage, I think it's shrunk over time. I think that you might find that even a slim majority of people in the state of Texas now support gay marriage. It's most people in the country. It's a dead issue. Get over it. It's time to get over it. You go to church if you want to be religious. The church doesn't have to issue any paperwork it doesn't want to. But to try to deny people legal benefits that they are entitled to by getting a state, secular contract of marriage that has nothing to do with Christ or Allah or any of these other figures, it's not going to hold up to judicial scrutiny. No way is it going to hold up. You could have a Supreme Court comprised of Scalia and 8 of his clones, and they would still shoot down the state of Texas's arguments when they go forth with this case. There is no ground upon which they can possibly stand that legal decision. They're splitting hairs. They're saying the 13th Amendment only applies to the contract itself in name, and so we have to issue the marriage, but it doesn't apply to anything associated with that contract. In no other realm would that be possible to argue, and so it won't be possible in this realm of legalese. The state of Texas has set itself up to take a beating in the Supreme Court for absolutely no reason. And there will be some people who will cheer this. Oh, yeah, this defends the sanctity of marriage. What sanctity of marriage? You're talking about religious ceremonialism. You're talking about the throwing rice and wearing the white dress and Adam and Eve sort of stuff, that's a iconography for within your religious context. And there are other religious bodies, by the way, that even before gay marriage was federally legal, already said, yeah, we want to officiate gay marriages, we have no problem with it. Technically speaking, they were deprived of their First Amendment religious rights by not being allowed to perform gay marriages if they wanted to, within a state context. And that was another reason why it was ruled legal at the level of the Supreme Court. But the time for haranguing and wringing hands over this issue ended quite some time ago. For a short time, people were really mad. They're like, oh, Jesus will abandon us, and the nation will fall, and everything will be terrible. And these same people that now they're feeling like high consumer confidence because their president is a tycoon, don't worry about it too much. If you don't want to do gay things or be involved with gay stuff or have gay people getting married in your church, that's fine. Nobody cares. But the state doesn't have the right to make that differentiation. The government is more bound. The government is limited in the United States. Do you believe in the Constitution? Very well. You believe the government has limitations to what it can and cannot do. The 13th Amendment is fairly explicit. It can't deprive people of equal protection under the law. Gay marriage is the law. The issuance of that contract comes with associated laws giving certain benefits to couples that happen to be married. You can't argue in any sane way that a state should be able to deprive certain people who have gotten the exact same contract of certain benefits of marriage. It just doesn't make sense. It's so nonsensical, it's funny. It's humorous because it's so dumb. What are you people thinking? How could the Texas Supreme Court possibly make this decision and think, yeah, this is a good idea, and don't worry, it'll hold up in the Supreme Court? Are you insane? It wouldn't matter what the composition of the Supreme Court is. It's not going to hold up to their scrutiny. They're going to shoot it down, and you're going to look foolish, and then some politicians in Texas can grandstand, pretend, well, I wanted marriage sanctity, but they wouldn't let us have it at the Supreme Court. It's judicial overreach. Yet again, no, it's judicial overreach for the state Supreme Court of Texas to attempt to insinuate that the government of Texas has the unilateral right to rob people of legal entitlements under marriage simply because it happens to be a homosexual couple. You could imagine if they tried to make this argument for interracial couples and how strange it would be. Imagine it would be the same thing. There's no difference between the two. For legal purposes, there's no difference. You may see one. You may say, well, biologically, it's male and female because they reproduce or whatever. Okay, that's a moral argument. That doesn't have anything to do with the state. It doesn't have anything to do with Texas or with the U.S. government. They're going to shoot this down. You're going to look foolish. So congratulations to the state Supreme Court of Texas. They make good decisions when it comes to things like national sovereignty, like taxation and regulation and guns and things like that. And you have these like red state Supreme Courts. They do a very good job. It comes to gay marriage. They just can't wrap their heads around sanity on this issue. I don't know why. Why is it such a sticking point for you? It's a government contract. It has nothing to do with your church. It has nothing to do with your congregation or your pastor, your priest or imam or whatever it happens to be. Legislating like religious morality, that, yeah, great idea. At the same time that some people are trying to ban Sharia, they're also trying to continue going back to the gay marriage issue like it's a huge sticking point for so many people. I just don't get it. You're not going to be able to argue this before the Supreme Court. They're going to sit there smirking, and you're going to say nothing probably in its defense. You probably won't even mount a defense because your own state lawyers are going to tell you there's really no defense to mount. It's going to get shot down. It's lunacy. That's about all. Peace out.